Welcome everyone to Trend Talks Life. I am your host, Erin Tomie. Today we're talking to Trend Micro Senior Sales Director, Rhea Tahiliani. Rhea, how are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Erin. I'm doing fantastic.
Well, I am very happy to have you here on Trend Talks Life, and I would love to just start with you sharing a bit about your role here at Trend Micro.
My name is Rhea Tahiliani, just as I mentioned, and I lead the US Sales West team, both on the enterprise side and on the strategic accounts. And my team is responsible for, customers, partners, and hyperscalers alike, right? And what we are chartered is to increase the revenue targets and sell the value to our ecosystem, our customers, by evangelizing the Vision One platform that we have standardized this year. And personally, I develop growth strategies and action plans for Trend Micro.
Well, Rhea, you have been at Trend Micro now for almost 10 years. And before you joined, you had already been in technology sales for most of your career. When you first became a trender, was there anything that surprised you or was unique compared to all the companies that you had already worked at?
Definitely, Erin. When I first joined in, which was a little late of 2015, and I was like, how can this be really true? We definitely have a unique culture in a very positive way. Culture of trust and collaboration. The environment is open, supportive. Leadership is very accessible. They genuinely care, and they are like in your success, right? And like very, very normal people. So it feels very relatable. And what really mostly surprised me was the long tenured, employees, right? Everybody that I met, and I've been at Trend now for 10 years, right? They've either been for 10 years. There's one person in in our West region. He's been with Trend for about a little over 15 to 20 years. So it's like a pattern. But we're definitely doing something right with the culture and the mission that we have, that, they're long tenured employees. They really give their best. So that was the most striking thing. And the other one on terms of innovation, right? So we're this 35-year-old company, you and I both work for, 7,000 people. And you'd expect us to be really like an enterprise, slower moving. Nothing like that. It's actually, we're on the contrary, very nimble, startup-like, very agile, and that comes across from top, right? It's like the development is very customer-centric, and our CEO just moves at the speed of light. Look at the changes she's brought on, right? Like moving the company from a portfolio company to a unified platform company, adding value. So the innovation and the flexibility is amazing. And lastly, I would like to say that, yes, we're global, but it always feels that, we're very close-knit. So with all the SKOs that I've attended, right, whether they are in US, outside US, right, we feel that all the regions and all the trenders, right, like I'm wearing one, that's what we've called, right, all the trenders. We're so closely knit. We participate in all the events, activities, whether it's giving back for the community, whether it is, attending our calls, right? Whether it is platform calls where we talk about technology. So it's a very close-knit family. And that is definitely unique. I mean, I can say that the culture and the mission is very deeply ingrained in us all.
I love the two first things you touched on, Rhea, because I think for most people, they would usually be quite opposite. So on one hand, having trenders on the team who, like you said, I know them as well. A lot of people have been here 10, 15, 20, 25 years, which for a technology company, people are very surprised when I tell them how long I've been at Trend, and I've been here 7.5 years. So you have everyone who's been here with these long tenures. And on the other hand, a lot of people mention this startup-like culture, which obviously startups are usually only a couple months or a couple years in in age. So having those combined into one company is really unique. And I think that really came out with your response there about how you feel being on your team. And I know that the West in particular is extremely close because a lot of you have been on the team for so long.
Absolutely.
Well, being in sales, talking about customers, you get to interact very closely with our customers compared to any other role really at Trend. What is something in the last 10 years that you've learned or taken away from the customers that you've worked with?
Relationship matters a lot, right? So a good salesperson will make relationship, but a great salesperson, I feel, sells feelings, right? It's how you do that, that sale, right, with that customer, and that experience, that lingers in their body or at the tip of their fingers, or how do they feel about, right? Like they feel excited, they feel the partnership with you, they feel that they want to buy from you. You're like your trusted advisor, right? I remember so many instances where the customer has shared with our team, right? Like, oh, we've done this project, Erin, and tomorrow we're not going to meet. And we've been with this customer for like 3-4 months right now. And we have these standing calls at 7 a.m., but they just want more, right? So that kind of gives us repeatable sales. And I feel that is the biggest difference, right? Like making those long lasting relationships and being superbly and empathetic with the customers and not just treating them like with transactions, and understanding their pain points, listening, right? Because if right, every customer has a different story. Even if, like, say, if I'm selling to technology or manufacturing, we could have the same customer, same industry, but their pain points are very different.
Thinking of yourself as a trusted advisor, it sounds like that's way more important than maybe just being that salesperson that's just trying to get the win, just trying to get them to sign on the dotted line. That's especially in cybersecurity sales. I really understand what you're saying about the feelings, because there sometimes can be so much at stake with really getting it right with our solution and what we're helping to protect. It's not just selling someone toilet paper. This is something that really matters, and it really matters to get it right.
Yes, absolutely. And like you rightly said, right, Erin, they have to report to the board in 3 days. If there's a breach, there's a lot of pressure. And I understand that their careers, can be a matter of a few days or weeks if we've not positioned that correctly, right, with them. So we have to be their trusted advisors, showing them what they don't know. Sometimes even challenging them very gently and kindly, like, hey, as your trusted advisor, I feel that this is the right thing. And then being very adult about it, like, this is what I recommend, but finally it's your decision, right? So they're very respectful when we do it in that format, because finally you do care, right? I mean, it's a human being on the other side.
Rhea, thank you so much for joining me today on Trend Talks Life and talking all about your experience with our customers and being in sales. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Erin. Appreciate it.